High costs for food and uncertainty in the stock market have many families keeping a tighter grip on their paychecks these days. Brandon Kinsner is here from Oakmont Advisory Group this morning.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you and nice to have you on. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
So we got to talk savings because it's a super important time. So why now? Why is it good to maybe start a short-term savings plan?
Absolutely. With over 59% of Americans being unable to meet a $1,000 emergency expense, it's going to be able to prevent you from having to go into debt if something does happen in your life, or allow for you the ability to go ahead and have that savings, have that vacation, and not have to incur 18% interest on it.
Right, and I guess when our dollar is not going as far, when we're dealing with high prices and
inflation
for everything, it can be a little bit tougher during this time. So what are the best approaches for still being able to save during a time like this?
Absolutely. So identifying some of your free cash flow. Arguably when we go to the store, there's some things we don't need to be spending money on. You could use tools to go ahead and help you identify some holes in your spending. YNAB, Monarch Money, those are all great. Once you identify those holes in your spending, you can then either work backward from a goal, save $100 a month to a $1,000 vacation, or just say, hey, I can afford 5% of my annual paycheck. That'll go into savings.
And those tools, how do those work, those two that you mentioned?
Absolutely.
What exactly are they?
Yeah, so what you do is you link up your checking account, and as you go to spend, it'll categorize areas. Groceries, Starbucks, discretionary versus non-discretionary expenditures. So you can kind of help identify.
Yeah, an important tool to have it all right in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And so once you're able to save, then the next question becomes, of course, where you put that money and how to make the most of it. So where to go from getting into the savings?
Certainly. So from there, depending on what you want to do, really what we want to make sure that you're focusing on is the habit of saving, making sure that you're eliminating that decision fatigue at the end of the day. So what you can then do is either have a savings account just at your local credit union or your checking account, automate the money to just sweep over into there. If you want to do something a little bit more, you can open up a money market account. Those are yielding anywhere from 3.5% to 5% or so, or just a traditional high yield savings with FDIC insurance. Now, you want to stay away from CDs that are going to lock your money up for a long period of time, investments with some variability, because this is all short-term spending goals. We're not trying to, introduce any variability into that at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think there's a misconception sometimes that you need a ton of money to start one of these accounts.
Exactly.
So, I mean, how simple can it be? How much money are we talking?
At the end of the day, typically most people, you could start with $20 or $50. So if you feel like you can only put $5 a month away, I mean, that's a great place to start.
Right. Yeah. You got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brandon, thank you so much. Really good tips, especially this time that we're all living in. So thanks for being here again.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll have all of this on KOB.com.